My loves. So good to see you today. I am coming live early on Friday. It's so funny because this week has been a different crazy week because my dear daughter Ellie was here all week. So I basically didn't work all week. Didn't end up recording my podcast. And so I'm doing it today live for you. And we're going to talk about how to experience more love in your marriage, more love in your life, more love. How many of us want more love? I do. I want more love. It's funny because as a physician and person like super interested in how to create true health, did you know that one of the best ways to fast track your healing is to create more love in your body because your body loves the vibration of love. Those chemicals just work so well with your cells. You just create so much health and vibrance when you create more love. And good morning. Hi, I see you joining. Hi, good morning. Toast to coffee on Friday. I'm so excited. It's the weekend, y'all. I just love every day, but I know. Hi, Stephanie. Fun surprise. Hi, Lou Ann. I love every day, but I'm excited about this weekend because I've had a very full few weeks. So I'm excited for a little downtime. Hi. So let's talk about more love. Oh, hi, Jerry. Your readings for today are love one another. Yeah. Okay. I love that. I was just meditating on the scripture that says, oh, I think it is Luke 7. Find it for us. Luke 7:43 through 45, I think. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. Don't go there. It's Luke something 43 through 20 through that. Let's see. Is it 6? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's 6. Okay. Listen to this, y'all. For a good tree brings forth good fruit. Every tree is known by its fruit. A good man out of good treasure of his heart brings forth that which is good. And an evil man brings forth that which is evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. So this brings me to a couple things. I'm teaching a free marriage workshop in a week and a half. So I was polling my community, asking like, what do you see as your main struggle in your marriage? Anybody want to guess what everybody said? So many people said it was communication. But here is why I know that's not true. Because I mean, it probably is part of the truth, but it's not the root of the issue. Because if I were to listen in on you talking to your sister about your daughter's upcoming wedding, there's no, like, you can communicate just fine. And if I were to like listen in to your husband talk about, or my husband talk about the twins getting a new pitcher to his brother, like, he's got all kinds of things to say. It's funny, it's irreverent, it's lighthearted. We all know how to communicate, right? No, the issue is what's in the heart is coming out. And what's in the heart so often is not love. And we think that, and I used to think this too, and sometimes I forget, and I still think this, that it's what they're doing that determines then how my experience of love. Well, if he's loving, then I can feel love. And this is part of the myth that we're dispelling in the workshop, is that is just totally a lie. And no matter what he does, you're always the one in charge of how you experience your life and how you experience love. So I ask people, are you experiencing as much love in your life and in your relationship as you want? And almost all people say no. And they think that's not in their control. They're like, no, I don't. And you should talk to the guy who's responsible for how much love I'm experiencing in my life. No, no, no. And this is the best news and the worst news, because it's you. You are in charge of how much love you get to experience on any given day. And my question for you is, so what are you going to do about that? Are you going to decide today that you are worthy of experiencing more love? So you are going to create more love for yourself in this day. And we're going to dive into all the hows of doing that in the workshop, because even though it is just that simple, for most people, it doesn't feel simple. It's like, what do you mean, create love for myself? Well, one of the things that I've been studying over the last few years is how we are affected by our own thoughts. So when we have thoughts, and most of us have so many thoughts that are unconscious that we don't realize we're creating this for ourselves, but what we're creating for ourselves internally, because our bodies are like amazing pharmacists, is we are creating internal environments that we have to live in. And then we blame other people. We're like, well, I feel so overwhelmed and stressed and resentful, and it's his fault and her fault and their fault. And the truth of the matter is, you are the one who gets to decide that. Only you can create for yourself internally what you want to create. And when you create that on purpose, you get to live in the amazing chemical cocktail of love or peace or joy. And what has happened, I think, in our culture over the last, I don't know. I mean, we've probably always had a tendency towards this, but we've just become addicted to stress. Maybe it was programmed to us in our childhood. It certainly was in mine, where I was just programmed to stress and cortisol, that sort of icky, stressed out, irritable, that sort of internal environment. And so what happens is we just become addicted to that. Those stress hormones, by the way, I just read this somewhere, are more addictive than nicotine. So no wonder we have trouble kicking the habit of being resentful and stressed and angry and frustrated. No wonder. They're very addictive, and you'll just keep recreating them, and then you'll keep blaming different things. Well, now it's her fault or his fault or this job or this circumstance. And what we fail to realize is that we've just become addicted to this way of being, and we think this is just who we are. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just anxious. I'm just whatever. When the truth of the matter is, you have the power to rewrite that at any time. How does that relate to marriage? It's everything, because now we're just living in these addicted emotions, but we're blaming our spouse. Do you see what I'm saying? And we think, well, no, it's true. He is this way. I'm sure you could find truth for it. But really what your life is your life is how you decide to see it. And then you just make the story true that you decide to tell. So if you decide to tell a story of stress and overwhelm and frustration, then you'll find all kinds of reasons why that will justify it. But my question is, why would you want to do that? Because you're the one who has to live in the stress and overwhelm and frustration. So I want to help us rewrite this story. It's not just the story of your marriage, it's the story of your life. And you only get one of these. And why do we want to constantly live in frustration and stress and overwhelm? I don't. And you have to go against the grain, because this is how most people do it. Most people that you will encounter today will be sort of in this state of not really being fully present to the moment they're in, but just living some sort of version of the story they've created in their minds, they've created of the past, and they will keep living that over and over and over again. And it doesn't feel good to them. It feels like frustration and stress and anger and resentment. So then when they show up to their marriage, or when they show up to their parenting, they show up with all of these emotions, and then they blame, or this is what I do sometimes, and I'm sure what you do, then you blame those people. And you think they're the one who caused you to feel this way inside your body. No, how you feel inside your body, how you experience your life is always 100% up to you. And when you take back your agency and begin to do it how you decide you want to do it, when you decide to be unlike everybody else you meet on the street today and everybody else you meet at the office today, and you start to see the world differently, and you start to approach this life from, what do I want to create today for myself internally that then can spill out to other people? Instead of asking yourself, what's going to happen to me today that I need to react to? We're just so reactive, aren't we? We're so reactive instead of deciding what I want to create for myself today and the people who live in my light. And when we do that, what we create in our lives and in our marriages is something way more rich and amazing and loving and joyful than what most of us are currently creating. And listen, like I said before, life is too short. At the end of the day, really, what you want in your marriage is to feel more love. That's what you want in your life. You want to feel the sense of love, being loved, loving other people. This is what we were wired for. How do I know this? Because science proves that when you live in this state, your body heals itself. You're healthier. You feel better. You just are vibrant. You are like a magnet. People are like, what is she drinking? I want some of that. So we want to feel valued, appreciated, seen, heard, wanted. That's just love. It's what we were created to crave. And when it vibrates in our bodies, we have this sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. And from that place, our bodies actually create this vibrant health. Our cells crave the vibration of love, they crave that chemical cocktail of love. But because we have conditioned ourselves, we've been conditioned to think that that feeling comes from outside of me. That feeling comes from what he says or does, or what she says or does, or maybe more accurately, what he doesn't do or doesn't say. But I promise you that science has proven that that's wrong. You think a thought in your body is the most accurate of pharmacies. It will mix up the exact cocktail you ask for. And nobody can make you feel anything but you. So if you want more love, you don't need anyone else to change and become more loving. You become more loving. You create more love. You decide to meditate on and think about ways that you can show up the way you want to show up, with more generosity, more open-heartedness, more love, more understanding, more compassion. And if you're like most of my clients in my programs, you don't create nearly as much of it as you want. How many of you would say, yeah, I don't create as much love as I want, or not nearly as much as I'm capable of? And what would happen in my life? How would the experience of my own life be different if I decided to do that? Well, I am going to teach you exactly how to do that in more detail than we talked about today in the workshop, Make Magic in Your Marriage. Now, some of you are like, okay, I'm not married. Come to the workshop anyways. Some of you are like, we're old. My marriage can't change. Come to the workshop anyway, because I'm just going to teach you how to love more, how to create a lot more love. And love is the most magical of all human emotions. And you in your own life and you in your marriage have probably been experiencing so little of it. You've been surviving on so little of it. And we need to remedy that, because I don't want you to spend the next 3 months, 6 months, 10 years experiencing that little of it. You need more of it. You were created for it. So, and it's not as hard as you think. And listen, the reason we're not doing it is because we've been programmed not to do it. And now we're addicted to the other program. And I'm going to help you reprogram your mind, renew your mind, so that you begin to experience way more of it. And then everything in your life changes, including your marriage. So, the More Love Workshop, we could call it that. So, ediewadsworthcoaching.com/marriage. And go get yourself signed up. Share the link with your friends, you guys. Your friends need more of it too. The other thing that I will say to you is, I want you to think about this today as you're going through your day. I'm getting ready to go to my gym, my favorite place on earth. So I want you to think about this as you go along your day. How many people are just living so reactive to everything that happens? You can tell that they're not intentionally creating the experience of life they want. I dare say 99% of them. So as you notice that, as you notice all the complaining and the entitlement and the blaming other people and the overwhelm and the misery, as you notice all of it, I want you to ask yourself, or I want you to remind yourself, I can choose that, or I can choose another way. And I dare you to choose another way today. Just see how it goes. Maybe you won't love it. Maybe you won't love the emotions of love. You probably won't at first because you're so addicted, like most of us, to all of the other stress emotions. But I promise you, if you can train your body to experience more love and joy and peace, you'll get to live in that. And then you'll go, oh my gosh, this is what I've been missing out on. So take control of it today. Create more love for yourself. It's really, at the end of the day, what we all want. All right. I hope you have a great day. I was so happy to see you today. So glad I got to start my day with you. And I hope you have a great weekend.